Now that you know how the account and ads managers work together, it's important for you to know how to manage them efficiently. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to manage both the account managers and the ads managers, as well as give you some tips in terms of how to train them. First, let's start with our account managers. The account managers, as you remember, are going to be the main point of contact for your clients. And the easiest way to see if your account managers are doing a good job is by average client retention. Typically, the longer you have a client, the better the account manager is doing. They're actually providing them those results that they're asking for, and they're doing their job. So that's a really great way to see how your account managers are doing. That isn't to say that an account manager isn't going to lose any of your clients. That's bound to happen no matter how amazing they are. But typically, you're going to be able to see how well they're doing by how long their clients stay with them. Some things that we had our account managers do to help us see if they were doing a good job, and so that we could keep track of them, was to track 1, how long the client stayed on, so how many months they were working with us. 2, how often they talked with those clients, so we could see if there was a correlation. Sometimes we saw clients that stayed on with us for a long time. We had more conversations with them, so it's something we could duplicate for other clients if that's what's working. Next, what is the average cost per lead each month? So by knowing this, you not only know if your account manager is meeting the expectations of the client, but you're able to also create more of a baseline for your industry or your niche that you're working in. You're able to tell them this is what the averages are right now. These are the types of numbers that we expect for you to get. Lastly, you also want them to track how many sales that client got. Ultimately, the client is going to stay on with you longer if they're being successful. So if they're getting those sales or if they're getting a certain number of leads that they wanted, you need to make sure that that is being tracked and that your account manager is staying on top of it. Now, in order to make sure that all of this is happening, we recommend that you have weekly meetings with your account managers. And these weekly meetings, they only have to be about 30 minutes long, and it's a time for you to catch up, see how things are going, and to see if there are any areas that maybe that account manager is struggling in that you can help with. They might be having a hard time getting clients on the phone, getting on their scheduled calls, or maybe they're finding out that they don't know how to optimize their offer, and so they want to talk to your sales team, or they need some advice from you. This is a really great place for that in your weekly meetings. It also lets you know if you're able to consistently get results for your niche or for your client. So it's really important for you guys to know that, so that way you can relay that information back off to the sales team. Speaking of the sales team, having these meetings also tells you if the sales team is doing a good job of closing the right people, the type of people that you guys can get results for. Managing your ads managers is going to be very similar to the account managers. As you remember, the two of those positions, they work very closely together. The ads manager is going to be responsible for running, optimizing, managing all of those paid ads that you guys are running for your client. So because they're responsible for something that is all about the numbers, with the ads managers, it is all about the numbers and making sure that they are hitting those expectations. So once you start to specialize in one area, you should have a pretty good idea as to what the lead cost averages are and what type of results you can get your client. What we did in order to track our ads managers and to see how well they're doing, whenever we got a new client, we had them come up with a metric or a standard that we wanted them to hit. So because we started working mainly in the health industry and working with these naturopathic integrative health doctors, we knew that we could typically get leads for under $1. So we confirmed that with our ads manager. Did they think they could do this with this new client that we just had? If they could, then that was going to be their baseline metric, and that's what we expected them to hit every week. Now, we based that number off of current and past campaign averages. It wasn't just something that we said, hey, this is the number you're going to get. We had our account and our ads managers work together to actually get that. We then expected our ads managers to reach that number within 1 month for 80% of their clients. So the reason why we said, 1 month is because we know it can take a couple of weeks to get a campaign really going. It takes a little bit of while to just optimize it. So we gave them an entire month to reach that number, and we only asked that 80% got there. So you might be asking, why only 80% if the ads manager is coming up with that number, they think they can hit that number? Well, we found with running all of these campaigns that occasionally you're going to get a curveball in there, something that you thought was going to perform amazing, and For whatever reason, it didn't. So it was really unfair for us to ask for 100% success rate from our ads managers. So we found 80% was a really great number. If you have 25 clients, that's going to be 20 of them within that goal range of what they expected there. You're also going to find with this that you might need to adjust those numbers as things go on, as time goes on, as ad costs go up, as there's more competition in the market, or if there's a local campaign that's maybe going to be more expensive than a national campaign. Just like with our account managers, we have weekly meetings with our ads managers. In these meetings, we do the same type of thing with our account managers. We talk to them, we see how things are going, if they're able to meet their expectations, those numbers that they have set right now, areas that they're maybe struggling in. The really important thing in these meetings is to find out if there are any changes in the ad platforms that we are running ads on. Maybe that number that we were getting 4 or 5 months ago is no longer accurate. We can't get that number anymore. You're going to find out all this information from your ads managers. So make sure you use these weekly 30-minute meetings to really find out that information. And then you can use it to adjust your sales calls and to let your sales team know. It's also important that you let them know that you're going to be relaying this information to your sales team. So if they feel like they can't meet these numbers anymore, the expectations that are being set aren't realistic for the ad platform, let them know that you're going to make adjustments and let your client know this is what you are now seeing and what you expect. Now, as I mentioned, both of these two positions, account manager and ads manager, they have to work very closely together. So because of this, we expect our account managers and our ads managers to know a lot of the same information. When it comes to training them, there's a couple things that they are required to understand. Number one, if we are running ads on Facebook, we need to make sure that they are very fluent in Facebook, that they know how to run Facebook ads, that they are familiar with the advertising policies that you see here. And we have both of them go through a training so that way they can speak pretty well to any of those. If they have a client that asks them a question about Facebook ads, they can actually answer that without having to go to the ads manager. It eliminates a lot of that back and forth. Now, obviously, our ads managers are going to go through a more intensive version of this training, but it's important for account managers to have a basic understanding and knowledge of Facebook ads as well. So by having them go through these two different types of trainings, by both of them going through the Facebook ads trainings, our account managers are able to write better quizzes. They're able to create quizzes that are Facebook compliant, and our ads managers can stay Facebook compliant by knowing what those advertising guidelines and policies are. We also were able to avoid a lot of back and forth between the ads manager telling the account manager that what they wanted to do couldn't be done, or our account manager asking our ads manager to do something that wasn't realistic. So it eliminated a lot of that, and they both had a better understanding of what the other person did. For our Facebook training, we relied on Facebook's Blueprint course. So it's a really great initial training. It gets everyone familiar with Facebook if they haven't done a lot of Facebook ads before. And it also allows them to go with the training at their own pace, which we found was really important. Some people could go through it a lot quicker than other people. This course, which you're seeing here, is also a free course, which is always great whenever you're looking for training. And it's really intensive. It's a really great course. So I definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't already and go and become Facebook Blueprint certified. Next, when it comes to training, we ask our account manager and our ads managers to shadow each other when they first start. So in that very first week of training, they spend at least a half day with one another, learning the ins and outs of each of those positions. So we have them listen in on a client call. So our ads managers listen in to find out exactly what happens on those calls, what expectations the clients might have. We have them work together to write a quiz, so that way our ads managers know how the quiz works and what they can expect. We also have our account managers set up a Facebook ad, so that way they know the process behind it, how long it takes, what are those things that they need to make sure are there, and it allows them to really serve as a backup for our ads managers. Now that's all you need to do, or most of what you need to do in terms of managing your accounts and your ads managers. In the next video, we're going to be summarizing everything we went over in this training, as well as telling you next steps that you need to be doing in order to grow your agency the way that we did. We'll see you guys on the next video.